All right, folks. Again, good morning, everyone. I'm Kelsey Andridge, and I'm a consultant here at IBIS Inc. Thank you for joining us for this morning's webcast on marketing solutions for Dynamics CRM. For this morning, we'll start with a quick Dynamics CRM introduction, followed by a marketing solutions overview. We'll then spotlight 3 of the top marketing solutions for Dynamics CRM, which include Microsoft Dynamics Marketing, ClickDimensions, and Eloqua. Like all of the solutions we will see today, Microsoft Dynamics CRM is a web-based application, as you may already know. In addition to marketing capabilities, Dynamics CRM has a robust sales module and a services module that can be built out to meet the many needs of your organization. Dynamics CRM does have its own native marketing module where you can manage some of those marketing tools. What we find, though, is that the 3 solutions we will spotlight today provide more complete, enhanced, and robust functionality than what is standard to out-of-the-box CRM. You can certainly leverage what Dynamics CRM already has to offer for marketing functionality, but we want to present some options that we find are asked for and used by clients time and time again to meet their needs. Today, we are going to focus on 3 of the top marketing solutions for Dynamics CRM. For each solution, we will outline the facts for you, what the solutions do and what they do not do. I will also provide some high-level information regarding the implementation considerations for each solution, such as hardware and software requirements. As we go through the discussion, I may bounce around from topic to topic, but it'll naturally flow together, and I just want to make you aware of that. The solutions we will spotlight today, again, are Microsoft Dynamics Marketing, ClickDimensions, and Eloqua. Microsoft Dynamics Marketing, or MDM, is deployed through the Office 365 portal with its own URL. The domain name that you will be provided will be first available based on your actual company name. So just be aware of that if you're going to deploy MDM. As an Office 365 solution, MDM requires a little work to integrate with your CRM system. First, a Microsoft Azure namespace is required. Once you acquire that namespace, the MDM connector must then be configured and managed. Although the MDM integration certainly isn't out of the box, it's very doable with the tools they provide. Speaking of integrations, lead records and other master data can be synced from MDM back to Dynamics CRM, but activity information cannot be included. Now, when I say activity information, what am I talking about? I'm referring to website visits, email click-throughs, form submissions, things of that nature. Activity information can't flow back to CRM from MDM, and that means that analysis of that activity information has to happen in MDM rather than CRM. Within MDM, there is a lot that can happen. First, MDM does have a similar look and feel to Dynamics CRM. Note that it does have an identity all its own. It'll take a little getting used to, but your current Dynamics CRM users should be able to navigate through it in no time. Like Dynamics CRM, MDM also supports some quick create capabilities, which is very useful for your marketing folks who are in the system throughout the entire day. Also, like Dynamics CRM, MDM employs a role-based security model, allowing you to easily tailor access rights to ensure users are getting to information relevant to them, and only information relevant to them. The forms and fields in MDM are customizable, but I want to make you aware right now that it may not be the easiest maintenance or configuration to complete. When I talk about form and field customization, I'm talking about maybe adding a user-defined field to a form, whether it's a date field, a free text field. It might be a field with predefined options, so you're defining that new field and also giving it an option set, that sort of thing. You can certainly do it in MDM. It has some limitations as to how many fields, what type of fields, that sort of thing. You've got to know where you're going to be looking, and then also how it affects the forms. So from experience, I want to tell you now, it may not be the easiest to configure, but there are some options there for you. MDM has campaign and landing pages down to a science. The robust capabilities of these features enable you to use specific campaigns to target specific segments. Based on that contact responsiveness, you can then determine the next internal step using what they call schedules and triggers. So schedules and triggers in MDM, what those mean are if you've got a campaign and you've got someone who's clicked through for an email and submitted a form, for example, okay, who needs to be assigned to that contact and what's the next step they need to take? Do they reach out the next day? Do they give it a couple of days before they make that contact with that visitor? It can also be used for event registration, for example. So somebody registers for an event, okay, we have 3 things that need to happen next. We need to contact them through an email, and we also need to send them a welcome packet, and we need to schedule a call for a couple of weeks before the event begins. So you can easily do that with drag and drop features of a campaign using, again, what they call schedules and triggers. So very visually easy to grasp and very easy to customize to whatever your campaign may be. As a solution built by Microsoft specifically for marketing purposes, MDM may be the solution for you. Again, keeping in mind that it is its own application with its own setup and maintenance, but that can be integrated into CRM to an extent. Next up, we have the ever-popular ClickDimensions. Built exclusively for Dynamic CRM, ClickDimensions sits right inside of Dynamic CRM, presenting as additional menu options of the native navigation with which you are already familiar. There are no separate logins, just new ClickDimensions security roles that fit right in with Dynamic CRM. So again, like we spoke about with MDM, these ClickDimensions security roles can be copied and configured to make sure that marketing people are seeing what they need to see, salespeople are seeing what they need to see, so on and so forth. Those ClickDimensions options appear right down in the new drop-downs that you already have for Dynamic CRM. They just appear as additional tiles. Very easy to use, very intuitive for somebody who's already familiar with Dynamic CRM. As both a cloud-hosted and on-premises solution, ClickDimensions is almost as easy to install as it is to use. You simply register your CRM instance and then import the ClickDimensions solution into Dynamic CRM. It really is that easy. ClickDimensions data is fully integrated with Dynamic CRM, meaning that you can readily see that information in advanced finds, dashboards, charts, anywhere in the system. That ClickDimensions data associated with your leads, opportunities, contacts, campaigns, events, all of that is visible right in CRM. The data integration is in real time, providing an accurate picture at any point in time. Website forms can easily be modified to present a professionally branded look, something that can sometimes be overlooked but is quite important when you're trying to win someone's business. ClickDimensions does support basic social media connections to Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn to display a contact's picture and basic information. What I want to take a moment to talk about here, since we're talking about social connections, is something in Dynamic CRM called social listening. It is a solution within CRM that allows you, among many other things, to see what people are saying in 19 languages and also analyze sentiment in 6 languages. You can analyze posts geographically to more accurately drive engagement about those conversations. There's a lot of cool stuff that CRM social listening provides, and if it's something that you need to bring into your implementation and organization, there are a lot of benefits in doing so. ClickDimensions does provide flexible out-of-the-box email templates. There are actually 3 types. One that provides for raw HTML coding, another that is essentially an easy drag and drop design, and then there's a third that provides that in between of the two for the user who's just savvy enough to use HTML but still wants the convenience of easy design tools. The email templates have all fields available for use, whereas with other solutions, some information from the other system may not be available easily or at all. So again, any of that ClickDimensions data that you have is available for use nearly anywhere within your dynamic CRM solution. When it comes to cons of ClickDimensions, most of those cons, quote unquote, are really just caveats of the way these marketing solution systems work. For example, if you have a visitor whose email address is already in the system, a new lead doesn't get created for that email address. It's a new activity that simply attaches to the existing lead. Multi-step form management may not be as configurable in ClickDimensions as it might be in a solution such as Eloqua, and that's the specific example I'm going to give you right now. To better explain this point, let's say you have a 5-step form on your website that, when it's completed to some degree, creates and assigns a new lead record in CRM. Let's say it's after step 2 that we have enough information about the contact, and that's when a lead record should be created in CRM and assigned in CRM. In Eloqua, you can set that lead creation and assignment trigger to execute only after step 2 is completed. So you've got your visitor on your website, they fill out step 1 of the form, they click next. Nothing has been created in CRM yet. I'm now at step 2 of my form. I complete it, I click next to move on step 3. In Eloqua, you can choose, okay, it's at that moment that my lead record gets created and assigned over in CRM. In ClickDimensions, the difference here is that as soon as step 1 of the form is completed, that lead is getting created in CRM, regardless of what information you do or don't have. Now, over in CRM, you could build some logic saying, okay, don't assign this lead record to a salesperson, for example, until I have the information from step 2. But again, the difference here is that after step 1, I now have this incomplete lead record sitting over in CRM, and anybody who's in the system could get in there and start nurturing that lead without having all the proper information yet. So again, if you've got a single step form, ClickDimensions will handle it perfectly fine. It's those multi-step forms that might cause a little trouble in the process flow of form management coming from your website over to CRM. If you're interested in learning more about ClickDimensions specifically, we actually have a webcast on Wednesday, February 25th, focused exclusively on ClickDimensions. Our colleague Britt Briscoe will be hosting that webcast, so be sure to mark your calendars. Again, ClickDimensions on Wednesday, February 25th. Now, we cannot wrap up today's discussion without throwing Eloqua into the mix. Eloqua is a standalone solution with its setup, maintenance, and use all its own. As a standalone solution, Eloqua does require some elbow grease for integration with dynamic CRM. It can be done. There will just be a bit of a learning curve for your system administrator. Or if you've got a trusty Microsoft partner, the possibilities might be endless. Traditional Eloqua integration with CRM is supported through version 2011. If you're on anything newer for dynamic CRM, you'll either require an Eloqua API with a little bit of dev work or integration with Scribe Online, a cloud-based service. Note that unlike ClickDimensions, any Eloqua integration with dynamic CRM will have a little bit of a lag, so by definition it isn't truly real time. You can get close, but it won't be exact. In considering integration points from Eloqua to CRM, it's worth understanding that Eloqua data can be reported on in Eloqua, of course, but if you want a one-stop shop in dynamic CRM for reporting, the appropriate information must be consistently integrated and maintained. So what I'll say here is, as we saw with MDM, activity information can't be sent back to CRM, so activity information has to be reported on in MDM. With ClickDimensions, all of that data is right in CRM for you, and you can see it there anytime, any day. With Eloqua, you can also feed that Eloqua information to CRM, but again, it has to be built through integrations that are maintained and created. Eloqua handles event registration very well, and what I want to touch on is the fact that based on an attendee's information, the appropriate internal user, such as a salesperson, can be notified for proper follow-up. You can build rules in Eloqua to assist in this kind of lead management so that less time is spent finding information and more time is spent responding to information. Another way Eloqua helps us consume information about our contacts is by making it easy to view their previously attended events, current registrations, email opens, link clicks, and page visits. This type of data helps you know your contact before you even make that first phone call. And all of that information, what I want to make clear here, is that it's visible directly in Eloqua. Of course, you can make it visible over in CRM, but Eloqua's got all of that reporting available right within the system. Like MDM, Dynamics Marketing, you can visually create and view the components of a campaign to understand and anticipate the events and activities. So you essentially, again, you have your campaign flow of events. In MDM, it's referred to as schedules and triggers. Over here in Eloqua, you can use that same ideology when you're building your campaigns. You can drag and drop, okay, I need to call here, this needs to be an email. If they open the link, what needs to happen, so on and so forth. Eloqua also does a good job of providing that visualization of your campaign trail. As visitors register for events via your Eloqua forms, the information is immediately visible in Eloqua, a feature allowing you to track the most current information of that event. Again, immediately visible in Eloqua, if that's where you're doing reporting, will be a little bit of a lag before you see it over in CRM if that's where you're doing reporting, simply because it's not that true real-time integration. Not a problem, just something to be aware of for your end users. Now, something else I also want to mention before we move on is that Eloqua only has a handful of email layout templates. This could be considered a con by some end users, but for those of you who like a little more freedom in your design, it might not be such a bad thing. If you like to start from scratch, pull up that blank email template and go to work. If you need a template that has some pieces already built for you, you can also find that. There just aren't as many options here in Eloqua as you might see in something like ClickDimensions, for example. So yes, I know we just covered a whole lot of information, but again, what we wanted to do was showcase these 3 marketing solutions for Dynamic CRM in such a way that if your organization is in the market for one, you might now be a little bit more informed. Okay, folks, if you do have anything that comes to mind after this morning's webcast, feel free to email me directly at kandrich@ibisinc.com. My email is right there on our questions slide. As I mentioned earlier, this recording will be available online for viewing in a few days. Additionally, you can read this material on the related blog post on ibisinc.com, the URL which is provided here as well, Marketing Solutions for Dynamic CRM. Thank you all and have a great rest of the week.